Welcome to the Sigma Empath Podcast, Vital Germaine. I'm your host. This is a moment, there are no guests in this rant edition. I'm just going to talk about something that I think is relevant to society. It's something you need to hear about. It's when, today's talking point, vulnerability. When is it healthy? When is it toxic? When should you be vulnerable? When should you not allow vulnerability to be expressed to you? It's a nuanced topic, but something that will truly put you in a position of power, protecting your well-being, and also just protecting your spirit, your soul. As an empath, as a kind, sensitive human being, being vulnerable is risky. But the downside of our kindness and our willingness to listen is that we allow people to be vulnerable. And I put that in air parentheses because there's a defining difference between being vulnerable when it's healthy and being toxic. So let's dive straight in to the toxic element of vulnerability, which most of us as empaths will experience. And it's really, really simple. By the way, please share your comments. This is a community engagement project that I create here on this platform. It's about sharing insights and expertise and opinions for the betterment, for the empowerment of each other. I bring up a talking point, but your opinion, your perception, your experience brings value to the community. Also, make sure to like, follow, and if this content brings you value, please make sure to share it. So, when is vulnerability healthy and when is it toxic? Well, it's toxic when it's not actually vulnerability, but it's an emotional dump. And of course, I'm going to save the most crucial, the most defining factor between the difference between dumping and vulnerability for the end. So please watch till the end. When it's an emotional dump, oftentimes, usually disguised as, I'm going to be vulnerable. Can I be vulnerable? Let me share my vulnerability. No, what you're doing right now is you're dumping your emotions, your problems, your psychosis, your fallacies, your weaknesses, your challenges. You're now dumping them onto me under the guise of being vulnerable. That is not healthy. It brings value to the one who's dumping, but you as an empath, it's not healthy for you to just take on somebody's crap. Take on their shit. It's not our responsibility to fix. It's not our responsibility to heal. We like to listen. But I shouldn't have to listen to all your problems without, first of all, without my permission, without my blessing. Did you even ask me if you could share? Probably not. And secondly, if you do dump on me, will you reciprocate the favor? And most people won't. So it becomes a very one-sided relationship, which is a part and parcel of the empath experience. It's always a one-sided relationship for the most part. But the dump is so toxic. And what I mean by the dump in the guise of vulnerability, they will express and share, not just a couple of minutes. It can go on for 5 minutes. It can go on for 10 minutes. And you're just going to listen and nod. And at the end of that conversation, you're going to feel heavy, overwhelmed, burdened, dirty, maybe even angry that they took up your time to just share. Now, again, it's not just sharing a problem. It's just a verbal vomit all over your soul, knowing the reason why they do it is they know that we're good listeners. So they just assume that they can put anything and everything onto us. Why? Because they've done so in the past and we've allowed it. But when somebody is dumping on you, it's hard to do, but here's what we have to do and what we have to say. I care for you. I really want to bring value and listen to you, but right now is not a good time. And you have to end the dump. You have to end them dumping. Why? Because it's not vulnerability. So what is vulnerability? Because this will help you understand the difference. Vulnerability is the willingness to be emotionally open, allowing yourself to be seen as you truly are, including your fears, needs, mistakes, uncertainties, without knowing how others will respond. But when somebody's dumping, it's not necessarily that they're looking for understanding. What they're really looking for is somebody to carry the weight of their problems. That's not the same as being vulnerable. They're looking for somebody to carry the weight of their problems, and they want validation, even pity. Ah, I'm so sorry. Poor you. Oh my God, you're so amazing. Oh, what an asshole to have done that to you. They just want validation so that they feel elevated. They feel restored. Oh, I'm not a weak person. Oh, I'm not crazy. Oh, I'm not a bad person. Ah, thank you for listening. I feel better now. I vomited. It's out of my system. Thank you so much. And probably they won't even say thank you. Let's go on about vulnerability. Because vulnerability, the purpose of vulnerability is to inspire deep, meaningful connection. Dumping is a one-way street. It's not about me and you connecting. It's just about me. When I'm dumping, it's all about me. Listen to me, hear my problems, feel sorry for me, elevate me, validate me, feel pity for me, me. Vulnerability is part of a healthy exchange that inspires connection. At its core, vulnerability involves risk. Risk of rejection, risk of judgment, risk of disappointment. When somebody is dumping, there is no risk. They're just dumping. They don't care really if you're going to judge them, because if they were afraid of being judged, they wouldn't just verbally vomit on you. They'd be a bit more strategic in their sharing. There would be some finesse behind it. There would be some delicacy. There would be some reservation. But when they dump, it's just all out. Now, some of you might be asking, yeah, but what if they really know you and they trust you and you've got a great relationship? Well, if you've got those things established and you believe the relationship is two-sided, it's healthy, then it's not a dump. Then they are being vulnerable. But you've got to gauge the energy of that conversation. Again, is it one-sided? Is it you just listening? And is it going on and on, making you feel heavy? Ultimately, how do you feel at the end of the conversation? If you feel closer to that person, not because you're a people pleaser and you just listen to everybody and you want to empathize and help and fix everybody, if you genuinely feel good about that interaction and you look forward to the next conversation because you now feel closer to that person, you also feel seen and respected, then it was vulnerability. Let's go on. Vulnerability is also the foundation of, I mentioned this, authentic connection. Authentic connection. Vulnerability is about the two of us coming together, mutual understanding, mutual exchange. Some days, if you've got a healthy relationship, some days, yes, today is about me. Yesterday will be about you. Yesterday was about you. Today is about me. I need you for today. Can I share something? If somebody's dumping, there might not be an ask for permission. Going back to the word authentic. If they do ask for permission, it's a rhetorical question. They just want to dump. They need your lending ear to just get it out. Vulnerability is also the foundation of emotional intimacy. Intimacy is caring, it's fragile. Even though I'm sharing my weaknesses, my problems, it's intimate. It's about trust. It's about I'm sharing so that I can grow. When somebody is dumping, it's not about growth. They don't really care to hear your feedback unless you're validating what they just shared. Whereas vulnerability is, hey, I've got this issue, I've got this problem, I've got this challenge. What do you think? And you generally asking for feedback. That's vulnerability. Also, in your sharing of vulnerability, you're not feeling sorry for yourself. That's the difference. A dump is coming from a place of self-pity. Vulnerability is, I'm seeking clarity. I'm seeking understanding. I trust you. I want to share this with you. I'm afraid. Vulnerability is not a weakness. Despite the risk of being judged, it is not a weakness. In fact, vulnerability is one of the most courageous things a human can do, is to show, here's what I've done wrong. Here's my mistakes. Here's where I'm afraid. Here's where I'm weak. But when you dump, you're not showing vulnerability. Because usually when somebody's dumping, there's an element of blame on somebody else. All right, so there's got to be a level of inviting trust. It's about processing emotions instead of suppressing them. It's about deeper, healthy relationships. It's about trying to heal from the shame of what you've experienced. But if you're just dumping for pity and validation, you're not going to get any valuable insights. You're not going to have any level of accountability, which means you're not going to grow from the sharing. And that sharing helps you build resilience. It's really, vulnerability is about it's two things. Either I'm going to share something about my journey that's going to inspire and empower you without undermining your experience, or I'm sharing this because I need to learn something. So for example, as an empathetic soul, when you share vulnerability, it will be, for example, and this is something that I talk about in Pink is the Color of Empathy. I leverage a Matthew McConaughey story, which was a level of somebody showing vulnerability. So I'll give you the short version. He goes to a monastery. He's got some issues in life and he's got some problems, and he needs to get some insight and some wisdom. So he's guided to this monastery and he speaks to a brother Michael. And brother Michael invites him to go for a walk, and they go through the wilderness and they walk, and he's asked for permission. He's expressed the situation. I just want to share. I need some insight. I need some help. My career is going wrong. I'm having challenges with my relationship. I don't know what to do. I'm afraid, blah, blah, blah. That's vulnerable. And he's talking to brother Michael. And yes, the conversation goes on for hours because brother Michael has been briefed on the circumstances and is willing to listen. He invites him, let's go for a walk so you can share with me. So the invitation is there. They go on the walk and Matthew McConaughey shares all his frustrations, and the conversation goes on for 2 hours. And at the end of the 2 hours, brother Michael simply says, me too. I also experience fear. I also experience doubt. I also experience confusion. His response was designed to simply comfort Matthew McConaughey's vulnerability, void of judgment, giving Matthew McConaughey confidence, clarity, making him feel as if he was not alone. So that's when vulnerability is empowering, because now Matthew McConaughey knows I can trust brother Michael to not judge me. I can trust him to listen with an empathetic ear and make me feel good about myself. That's when vulnerability is, true vulnerability to elevate somebody is, I'm sharing my weakness. There's a lesson in here for you and there's a lesson for me. Again, it's not a dump. It's not a dump. Vulnerability is the courage. I mentioned the word courage. It takes great courage to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is the courage to show up authentically, even when there's no guarantee of safety or acceptance. So think about those things. Next time somebody decides to dump on you, ask yourself, are they being vulnerable, or is this toxic for me because they've just assumed I'm going to listen to all their problems and give them my light and elevate them, giving them my understanding, my pity? Is this healthy for me? And if energetically it doesn't feel healthy for you, chances are it was a dump. And you don't owe anybody that privilege to allow them to dump their toxicity onto you. Now, here is the last, maybe the most crucial element of the difference between dumping and being vulnerable. When I'm dumping, I'm oblivious, I'm not taken into consideration, I'm unaware of how what I'm sharing might impact you. Why? Because going back to, it's all about me, 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 me. When I'm being vulnerable, I'm leveraging emotional intelligence, I'm gauging to understand, how will this impact you? How heavy is this for you to hear? How toxic might this be for you? What is your current emotional state? What is your mental state? When you're being vulnerable, you are also being empathetic. When you're dumping, you don't care about them. You're focused solely on your need. That is fundamentally the most the most defining factor between a dump and vulnerability. Are you aware of the impact your share is having on me? Because if you are aware, you will then be conscious as to how much of their time you take. You will be conscious of how much of their energy is being drained. You will be conscious of the impact that this might have on your relationship. All those things are playing in the background because you care for that person. So being vulnerable comes from a place of caring. Dumping comes from a place of selfishness. That's my rant for today. Let me know your thoughts. Have you experienced this type of dump disguised as vulnerability? What is your opinion on vulnerability? Is it something very courageous? Is it something that inspires connection? When have you been vulnerable? Did it backfire? Were you stabbed in the back? Was it held against you? And ask yourself this also: how do you respond to people's vulnerability? Everybody, my name is Vital Germaine, 7-time author, in particular the book, Pink is the Color of Empathy, The Empath Way. I'm also a life coach. If you want to do deeper dives into your journey of empowerment, reach out, let's connect. See if you can be vulnerable with me. Everybody, talk to you soon.